Stan Gibelisco here. A couple of viewers have emailed me expressing concern over the fact that it's been about a week since I've made a video. I've fallen silent for a little while, and the reason for that is preoccupation with medical issues and also difficulty getting to and from various places because of one of those medical conditions. So I've been focusing on that. They are serious medical issues, and I'm not going to go into any more detail about them because this video really isn't about me. It's about miracles. In February or March of 2004, I moved into this house, the only house I've ever owned, and which I own now fully outright, no mortgage remaining, no mortgage payments to worry about. It's free and clear mine. 15 years I've lived in this house. It's the only house I've ever owned. When I moved in, the very first piece of furniture or decoration that I put in here was an 8.5 by 11 framed photograph, well, not photograph, but a photograph of a piece of artwork of about a 12-year-old kid holding a 2x4 or thereabouts, and in the bottom corner was a snipped out of some newspaper or publication, weathered and colored with age, saying, "Expect a miracle." That picture was meant to be of Jesus Christ as a boy, a carpenter's apprentice, because his dad was a carpenter. And expect a miracle, of course, explains itself. It was an upbeat, optimist thing that my mother prepared for me when I was a kid and always hung in my room as I was a kid and as I grew up in Rochester, Minnesota. And it was packed away there for a while as I roamed around various places like Connecticut, Florida, Nevada, California, Hawaii, Wisconsin. Oh, I was a runaround. I was nobody's property. I was my own man. I was free because I had an enviable job writing where I didn't have to answer to anyone except my publisher. I could work on my own time. It was what some people called a dream life or a great life. And it still is in that respect. But now, as I've grown older, I've learned that growing old ain't for sissies, as a lot of people have said, and I've developed some very serious medical problems. So serious, in fact, that they could threaten the amputation of a limb and possibly even my very life. Nevertheless, I still expect a miracle, because almost 32 years ago, I overcame a similar problem, a problem of magnitude so bad that doctors told me I was doomed. People told me I was doomed. That was alcoholism. In 1987, I believe it was Labor Day of 1987. No, it was 1988. Labor Day of 1988, technically, was the last day that I had an alcoholic drink. The worst alcoholic people had ever seen, and it has now been, well, I guess you would say, going on 31 years that I'm alcohol-free. That was a miracle. I expect a miracle with some of the problems that I have now, because I have a very serious Christian faith. Actually, if you want to denominationalize it, I'm an Episcopalian, Nevertheless, when you start breaking these religions down into various factions, you start thinking of them as cults. And I don't want to be thought of that way. I don't want to be thought of as prejudiced towards any one religion, although I am a believer in Jesus Christ, the one and only begotten Son of God, the Father Almighty, maker of heaven and earth, who shall reign forever and ever over all the universe. Amen. That is my belief. And that picture remains on my kitchen wall, actually my dining room wall, to this day. Hasn't been touched or moved since, other than dusted so it didn't get all really too gritty to see. Dusted once a year, whether it needs it or not. But expect a miracle if you're having problems now and you're having difficulties. Not necessarily from Jesus Christ, but from whatever higher power you may believe in. And if you believe in no higher power, well, expect a miracle anyway. They do happen. One of them happened to me 31 or so years ago, and another one could happen. I pray only that God has a purpose for me to stay on this earth and hasn't decided it's time for me to go. My mother died about 4 months ago, died in my father's arms, both of them 95 years old, in Rochester, Minnesota. They were together for more than 70 years and married for more than 50 of them. One man, one woman, one God. Expect a miracle. And that's in order. I'm Stan Gibilisco, signing off. Until next time, so long.